My dear friend Dani Dayan, head of Yad Vashem, dear ambassadors to the State of Israel, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to be here today. This is the second time that International Holocaust Remembrance Day has personally affected me more than ever. We are here to remember the worst crime that was ever committed against humanity, where the Nazis, with their racist political ideology, created the most monstrous death machine that systematically killed millions of Jews, treated humans being like worthless animals, and murdered them in a sophisticated, horrifying industrial system. The magnitude, the numbers, but most of all, the unimaginable cruelty. This is on a scale that the world has never seen, and we pray that we'll never see again. The dehumanization, torture, and abuse are unimaginable. Yet it is as true today as it was in 1945. In recent years, I keep on hearing through the media the use of terms relating to the Holocaust and the attempt to compare current event to those atrocities that were committed by the Nazis. Nothing, but nothing in human history come close to the scale of the butchery committed by the Nazis, Germany, during the Holocaust. It makes me wonder many times whether leaders who are comparing their own personal tragedy, no matter how difficult it is, to the one of the Shoah, it seems they do it not just for sympathy, but many times in order to desecrate and to wear down the memory and the severity of this major event. We are here today in Yad Vashem, which is the largest archive and museum of the Holocaust in the world. This always influences visitors, not just from Israel, but from all over the world. Yad Vashem grabs your heart and enters your soul. The lesson learned here impresses so hard so that you cannot help but never forget the lessons of that mega genocide, the Holocaust. But this place is also a very special space for many Holocaust survivors who passed away and those who are still alive. This is a place they come to share their stories, to commemorate their families that were brutally executed, burned, murdered, raped, abused. A place where they come to cry off events they are incapable of sharing because words cannot describe the nightmare. A place where they can feel they were able to bring the memory, the belongings of their loved ones who suffered so much. My grandfather, Tzvi Udkovsky, number B10668, who survived Auschwitz, used to come here often with a group of friends that survived the camps and others who survived the war. This is a special place where he crafted together a monument and brought some of his belonging here. This is a place he felt belonged to him, where he could share his memories and remember his family. All of them were killed by the Nazis except of one brother. As children, he used to tell us many stories on how he survived Auschwitz. I know it sounds harsh to tell children about surviving a death camp, but he had a special way in telling these stories, like he's this magical hero that overcome many dangers and survived them through wit, luck, and bravery. My cousin wrote those stories in a children's book that she has published and is now being shared with many children in Israel. My grandfather's proudest moment was when my cousin and I, after being recruited to the army, would come back home wearing the uniforms of the defense forces. I could see in his eyes complete pride. He told us how proud he is to know that his grandchildren are capable and trained at defending themselves and the Jewish state. He expressed how proud he was that the Jewish people by themselves will never be at the mercy of any other country or leader again. I made him a promise to forever defend our homeland that he founded and liberated, so that the Jewish people can be free and sovereign people in our historical home, and for this to be a shelter for all Jews who are going through persecution. I promised him that I would protect this country that he and his generation founded and liberated. I came today to speak about the Holocaust, but I think it is also important an apology. I want to apologize here at this sacred site to my grandfather's generation, where they felt they could share, cry, remember, a place that was so important to them and to him. My generation owed them an apology. Our country, the shelter that he built to protect Jews against violence and persecution, was not ready for the attempted annihilation they, Hamas, had planned for us. We allowed them to accumulate arsenal that could have destroyed our homeland, our shelter. We didn't guard it like we promised to you that we would. Our generation let our guard down. When we promised you that Jews will be safe here in the home that you built, our security failed. Our babies were executed, our daughters were raped, and our grandparents, some of whom survived the Nazis during the Second World War, were burnt alive and kidnapped to the dungeons of tortures of Hamas. I feel like we failed you. Our generation failed you. So I want to make a new promise to you and to your generation here in Yad Vashem. I promise that every decision I make, that all of my power and all of my effort from now and on will be concentrated in making our homeland, the Jewish shelter, a safe and secure home for all Jews. Our enemies don't pause, and the Nazi idea of complete annihilation of the Jewish people has not passed from this world. Where every second house in Gaza, Hitler book was found, and the genocidal calling of extermination of Jews is being heard from far left and far right, joining together forces against Jewish communities all around the world. The rise of anti-Semitism, burning synagogues and schools, even in the most peaceful countries, is a red flag and a calling for all of us to learn from the lessons of the past and confront it when it starts, not when it's too late. I'm calling out directly to all those here with us today from countries around the world to stand united, take actions, and ensure that hatred has no place in our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister, for your words.